No, that's not quite correct. My learned friend repeatedly says this. But every member of the Legislative Assembly and of Parliament is ex officio member of the Pratinidhi Sabha.
That's correct.
We are also part of that.
That's right. No doubt. Hold on.
There is an overlap.
No dispute. The 39 members of the legislative party are also members of the party. No dispute.
No question about it.
No, how am I? I have not said anything
They have to have primary membership.
Yes. I have not said anything against that. Only thing is that 39 members can't hijack the party.
That's all.
That we'll see. That's the issue. Of course, we welcome you.
No.
It's all right. No. Let me continue, please.
Next.
So, Malas, your ladyship was right. Exactly, Malas. The surroundings are comfortable.
Relevant for content schedule, no doubt. Not for a speaker. Relevant.
Then, Malas, the notices.
Inference.
Now it's the notices we don't have. No more, Malas, documents. All kinds of statements have been made, Malas, that we are following a separate party, but that's all happens in Assam. It's a given, Malas, so let's not go into that. So this is all, Malas, as far as the documentation is concerned. Now let's see, Malas, what the issues are. The first, Malas, deals with Nabam Rebia, basically, so that your lordships will have to decide. All I can say in that regard is that if you allow that law to stay, it will be misused, it will be a new model of toppling governments. Safety valve for defectors. That can, in any legislature, X number of people form a separate identity and say, we'll not listen to the party, we'll decide what to do.
That you've been arguing yesterday.
There's no evidence to be led here. Admittedly, there is a whip, Sunil Prabhu, on the 3rd, saying vote against the trust vote. Admittedly, on the record of the House, they voted in favor of the trust vote. Even by that time, Gogavale would not been appointed by the Speaker, though the Speaker has no right to appoint Gogavale. He appointed Gogavale on the 3rd evening, which he can't do otherwise, but that's another matter. So, Malas, what is there for the Speaker to decide? There's a violation. The vote is on the record. You're not usurping anything. You're only declaring.
This question is incoherent. This issue is incoherent. What is the logical follow-up? Then the Speaker will say it's per se case.
I'm sorry?
Speaker will say it's a per se case.
Yeah, I hope so.
You are.
I hope so, Malas. I hope so.
That's different matter. What you're trying to say in 3 is, in per se cases,
Yes.
should the court not decide?
Yes, that's the point.
That's what.
That's why I put per se there, Malas. Only for that reason.
God.
So it is incoherent.
Well, we have to ultimately persuade you, Malas, so we have to.
Yeah.
I always say, without the court on your side, there's no point arguing. And the only way to have the court on your side is to be as reasonable as possible, though politics is essentially unreasonable. The art of politics is to make the unreasonable look reasonable.
Necessarily. Politics can be very reasonable also.
Directly in issue. Because of those documents, Malas, I've shown to your lordships already that you are removed from Assam, you are removed as the chief whip, and I continue to be the party and you are removed as lead. I continue to be the group leader. Directly in issue. Well, what you are doing in this process is sidetracking the disqualification proceedings, toppling a government, and then saying, now my speaker will decide. Actually, the constitutional premise and every constitutional authority should in fact help in ensuring that an elected government continues to be in power. Whereas it's something that I'm going to argue later, but I want to just tell your lordship something very interesting. Well, as a governor has to decide to administer the oath of office. So 30 people go to him, 20 people go to him. The governor must first know which party they belong to. Either it's a post-poll alliance or a pre-poll alliance, right? So the governor must first ask them, which is that party? Normally, their position, 39 members' position is inchoate. They can't represent the Shiv Sena. This is the first time this issue has arisen in this country. So, Mullahs, how does the governor decide that I'll administer oath of office? There is no party before it. I'm just touching it, Mullahs. This is an issue that your lordships will have to consider. I can understand in a situation, Mullahs, that really doesn't matter, the outcome would be the same. But here the hard facts are, their vote topples the government. So you have allegedly, according to me, a member who should be disqualified, voting to topple an elected government. without the governor asking him which party you belong to. Without the governor, Maharaj, even finding out for himself. Or the governor saying, look, there is some disqualification petition. By this, an elected government will be toppled. Let's stay our hands. We will not administer oath of office till the disqualification is decided. He can say that. Should he say that? Should he not say that? That's, Maharaj, an area where, Maharaj, your lordships have never looked at, so to say. Well, obviously, it's premised on constitutional morality. Because it relates back, Maharaj, he is the chief minister. What do we do? Which is why the time is of the essence. What is the impact of removal of para 3 of the 10th schedule? I've already argued that. And 2.1a and 2.1b makes it very clear. Violation of the whip and giving up, voluntarily giving up membership. And well, as your lordships with experience knows what act amounts to voluntarily giving up membership.
Mr. Mahendra Singh, you're not the only person who's feeling hot in the court. We agree with you. We have to start the SCs.
Yes, Malaz, your lordship should, Malaz.
Mr. Mahendra Singh, is it the heat of the weather or the heat of Mr. Kapil Sibal's arguments?
Both together.
Only light.
This is the generosity of the bar, Malaz. That's all I can.
We'll start the SCs.
The lordships will notice that 1C says original political party. 2.1a and 2.1b makes no distinction. So the political party relates back to 1C, therefore it's the original political party, so therefore it can't be the legislative party. That's what Malaz held. It squarely answers Malaz the argument. Their argument is we are 38, we are therefore the political party. So 38 people, Malaz, in the Legislative Assembly as members can't be the political party. They are the legislative party, members of the legislative party. To join with others in abstention or voting with the other side smacks of conspiracy. That's exactly what happened here. And it started on the 21st of June. Malaz, what happens traditionally is, Malaz, the members do not know the business of the House because the business of the House is decided by what is called the Business Advisory Committee. And only some members of the House of political parties are members of that committee. So every week, couple of times, every week, a meeting takes place as to what should be the business for the next week. So that's decided and then it is announced in the House. On that basis, the whip then informs the members of the House that this is going to be the business. These are the bills that are to be debated. This is the position that we have to take on the bills. Therefore, you please prepare your speeches in the context of the position of the party. That's the job of the whip. Now, it's not that. That is not the job of somebody, who says, I am a group leader and I will decide. That is why the whip is appointed by the political party, for that very reason.
On general parliamentary business, how specific are the whips? I mean, this is not unrelated to this case. I mean,
a WhatsApp message is sent to us. Three lines at the end. Underlining, otherwise you have to be present, otherwise action will be taken against.
This is a whip.
And you come and vote, and this is how you have to vote. A 3-line whip will come, vote for this bill, vote against this resolution. So each one under a WhatsApp, that message is sent. So we have to be present. They're very generous, because while we argue our cases, proceedings are going on, so we're not present. So they don't trouble us too much.
Special exemption 9 schedule. Special 9 schedule.
That holds for Mr. Jethmalani also, right?
Well, my personal opinion, this is my personal, I don't want to say it. The fact of the matter is, if you want to practice, you should practice. You want to be in Parliament, devote your time to Parliament. That should be. Otherwise, we can only perform one function, we can't perform both. Anyway, that's another matter. No, it's not that. It's what happens is that the key issues of the party are nowadays before the court. And they want us to be here. And slowly Mr. Jethmalani will realize as the burden increases that he might also have to do that.
Just one second aside about coming out of the halls of Parliament, a very leading left leader mentioned inside the House that lawyers, chartered accountants, doctors and other similar people should not be in Parliament. They should concentrate on their profession. Mr. Jethmalani and I were talking in the lobbies once. So when he came out, a good friend of ours, we told him that you want Parliament only to consist of unemployed and unemployable persons.
Don't say that. Don't say that publicly.
This is what happened.
He said
it generally for a lot of us. He says, I'm taking his example. He said it for a large class of professionals, not lawyers alone.
Yeah.
So well, there is a certain amount of input you bring in if you are otherwise also gainfully employed.
That's true. But lawyers in many jurisdictions are not allowed to do both things. This is all this argument that was made, freedom of expression, we have a right, we feel that your policies are wrong, you have deviated from ideology. You knew the ideology, you knew that he is the Paksh Pramukh, you knew what he stands for, you took his ticket, you were minister, you never raised your voice, and suddenly in Assam you go to say that no, we are very, very concerned about it. Prior to 21st of June, where is a single statement that is on the record of this case? Not a single statement. That's because you got lured into it. That you thought that maybe by using your majority in the legislature, you could actually topple the government and become the chief minister. So then it says, well, any difference of opinion must be first ventilate and fight within the party. Kindly see that. Your Lordship asked me that question, then what does he do? He has to ventilate it within the party, call a meeting. Then, more important, the membership of the House does not become his private property, nor can he trade in it. How prescient, these words are. That's not his private property, nor can he trade in it. I mean, I'm sure, he wasn't in Assam for cleansing his conscience, There were bigger issues that were to be dealt with in Assam, somewhat akin to some ground issues. This, in essence, tells you, what the contours of the conduct of a member of the legislature in the House should be. And in what circumstances, and there are only two, that he can actually disobey the whip. One, he can take the permission of the leader, and two, he says something contrary to the whip and the party condones it. And this Law Commission report led to the 91st Constitutional Amendment, deleting paragraph 3. No, I cannot go to the speaker, no member of the legislature can go to the speaker in Parliament or Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha that I want to speak. He has no choice in the matter. The party will decide who is the party, It's the leader. That on this issue, on cooperative societies, my member in the legislature knows more about cooperative societies than somebody else. Therefore, allow him to lead the debate. In finance, who leads the debate in Rajya Sabha? Mr. Chidambaram. Who decides that? The party. So, each person has his expertise on education, on telecom. There'll be different people in the House who will be espousing the cause of that subject matter because he has expertise. And who decides that? Not even the leader. Leader will put up the name to the party president or the UPA chairperson or the party. And then they will say, okay, now you let him decide. Let him debate. So this whole argument and sitting in Assam, I can throw you out, I can throw the whip out, and I can change the leader of the House, and I'll proclaim myself to the leader of the House. What is the speaker going to do when you send it back to the speaker? And this realization dawned 2 years afterwards, when he was a minister and all that. The chief whip is the eyes and ears of the leader of the party, so far as the members are concerned. Why, what happens is there is hangama in the House. People are going to go to the well. You immediately have a meeting with the leader. What should we do? Because the House is adjourned for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. You go back to the leader, you have a quiet meeting with us. The whip will have a quiet meeting. A decision will be taken, conveyed to the legislature. So to say, that I am 40 members of the legislative party, I can do what I like, I am a separate group, I am a separate entity, I can remove you, it's unthinkable in parliamentary democracy. Unthinkable. And this per se, that's why I use the expression per se, is voluntarily given up membership of the party, per se. Apart from making the House and keeping essentials for transaction of business, the chief whip has the whip hand in shaping the course, tone and tenor of debate on special occasions, for he selects the speakers from his party and hands over a list to the speaker for facilitating the process of catching his eyes. Supposing a select committee is to be formed and a person to be nominated. Who decides that? If 40 members of the House will say, no, because we are 40, we nominate this person? No. The whip will tell the speaker that this is our nominee on this select committee or this joint committee or the standing committee. So this gives him wide power of patronage, which comes handy in keeping with party members amenable to his influence. It is thus clear from a reading of the aforesaid that the whip forms an important link, an umbilical cord between the political party and the legislators. The whip enforces the directions of the political party. Then, my lords, there is a discussion about how the term political party as well as actually was not there in the constitution earlier, or not constitution, even otherwise was not there in a statute. Then there is 29A of the representation. I don't have to go through the history, Mullahs. We are short of time, and I don't want to, Mullahs, take time unnecessarily. My learned friend can, if he wishes, to deal with some of this. Then, Mullahs, kindly come to. Mullahs, in this case, Mullahs, they wanted to introduce nota option in the Rajya Sabha elections, Mullahs, for elections to the Rajya Sabha. Mullahs, in that context, Mullahs, at page 116, the judgment starts at 100. I just read one paragraph, paragraph 19 at page 116.